Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I'm going to demonstrate how to make these really easy kitchen towel boas. What it is there's a dishcloth towel at each end. So you cut the towel in half and you stitch it onto the end of the fabric. Now this one, you know I love my roosters. I made this one out of roosters. Then this one has a lemon fruit flavored theme to it, and this one I made for my husband. He deals a lot in dark sauces, barbecue sauce, teriyaki sauce, all kinds of stuff. So he gets his towels really dirty. So don't forget about the man in your life. This is a really easy project. The supplies is listed below your YouTube screen. Okay, let's get started. This is the towel that I'm using, and this is the long edge. So you want to fold it on the long edge in half, like this. Then place a pin, and I've already placed one right there where the center is. Then take a ruler and try to keep it straight. And you can either use a rotary cutter or scissors, whatever easiest for you, and then cut it in half. Take each half and fold it into thirds. And you want it to be even. So, in other words, you don't want one coming here like this. You want it to go all the way over. So you might have to do a little bit of adjustment to get it all the same. Then compare. Make sure that the two are folded the same width. This is real important. Then take some straight pins and pin them up at the top. Then at your sewing machine, do a basting stitch along this top edge to hold it all together. So that you know how much fabric to buy, you want to measure the width up here. And mine comes out to 5 inches. Double that 5 inches, so that's 10. Then add an inch. So that'll tell you how much fabric you need to buy. So most of you are going to need about 1/3 of a yard of 42-inch wide fabric. Now take your fabric and make sure you have the selvage edges together, and then cut those selvage edges off. So make sure you cut it nice and straight. Place the pretty side of your fabric facing up, then fold it in half. And then finger press along here so you know where the center is. Or you could place a pin there to mark the center. And open it up. Take your towel and fold it in half. And on this one I would put a pin there so you know exactly where the center is, because it's kind of thick to do a finger press. And line up your crease with your pin so you know that it's centered. And place your pin there to hold, and go ahead and pin it across. Now you're going to take your 2 edges, bring them in, and this is to help you figure out how wide your seam needs to be. So you want to make sure it's wrapped around the sides, and bring your 2 edges together and I'm turning this a little bit, kind of pinch so that you could see how wide your seam is. Measure that and pin it all the way across down to the other end, and repeat putting your other towel at the opposite end. Before you stitch this closed, you want to make sure you leave an opening in your center. So to find your center, fold it in half, and either put a little pin there so you know where center is, and I'm going to unfold it again. So here was my center, and I'm going to go 4 inches out this way and 4 inches out this way and leave an 8-inch opening right in through here. Now my seam measured 3/4 of an inch. So what you're going to do is you're going to start at one end, back stitch, and right now my towel is out of the way. It's still pinned inside there, but it's out of the way. And if you don't know where 3/4 of an inch is on your sewing machine, you can measure 3/4 of an inch from your needle out to one side, put a piece of tape there to mark where that 3/4 of an inch is, or whatever your seam allowance is, could be different than mine. And then keep the raw edge of your fabric right on that edge of the tape. So back stitch, go all the way down here to where this pin is here, and back stitch. Skip over your opening, back stitch here, and go all the way down to this end and back stitch. Open your seam up and take your pins and go through all the layers of the fabric and pin each end. Then go to your ironing board and you're going to press this seam open. Now here's my opening, but it's going to help a lot to close up the opening if you press this entire area and press all the way down to the other end. Then at each end, stitch a 1/2 inch seam along here. Reach inside the opening and pull the towels out. After you've got both of them pulled out, then go back to your sewing machine and you're going to do top stitching. And so you're going to stitch 1/8 of an inch from the seam here on top of your fabric, not the towel. You're going to go in this way 1/8 of an inch and stitch all the way across here, and do that at both ends. Before I close up this opening, I like to just give everything a good press all the way down. Now here's my opening. So I'm going to take both edges. Now if you want, you could do a little hand stitch to close it up, but I'm not going to because no one's going to see this part of it. Just take those 2 edges and open it up like this and place pins to hold it. And I would place pins all along the edge. And then stitching close to the edge all the way across that opening. There's one more seam that I recommend you do, and this seam will help the scarf to fit more comfortably around a person's neck. So the area where you just closed up your opening, that's where this seam is going to go. But first, this is the back of it. Fold it, turn it over to the front, and fold it in half. And then place pins along here. This is where the seam is that closes up that opening. And you're going to be stitching about anywhere from 1 inch to 1.5 inches from this edge. And I'm going to turn this around so you can see this better. So here is my opening where I have it stitched closed. So this is the distance I'm going to be stitching from. So from this edge, you're going to come in and you can choose 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and stitch right along here. So I've just finished stitching along right here. So this is the back side. And when you turn it over to the front, the top side, you want to press it so that this is nice and flat. So it goes in narrower around the neck and then flares out once it gets past the neck. If you want to do any kind of embellishment on the towel itself, you could take rickrack, any width that you want, really wide or narrow, and place it either right along the bottom edge or come up a little ways. It really depends on yourself. So you would just wrap it around the back of the towel and then stitch right down the center of the rickrack all the way across. Now here's another really simple embellishment you could do, is take what we call single fold bias tape. So it looks like this on the back. The edges are just folded in towards the center. So you could take this, again you would wrap it around to the back, and then you would stitch on each side of the bias tape all the way across. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial and that you give it a try. This really is a beginner's sewing project. If you're interested in other beginner's sewing projects, check below your YouTube screen. So you're just going to scroll on down, and that's our dog Scotty because he wants to be in the video too. So go down below your YouTube screen, click on those links, and you'll see all kinds of fun little projects. By the way, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.